I have a written text and I can read it out to you, but you know it all. It'll just be repetition of what you already know. The question today is, how do we resolve this dispute? Can we wish it away? We cannot. Is there a military solution? There isn't one. Are we talking? No, we are not. Did the actions or the measures taken on the 5th of August 2019, did they achieve what they were meant to achieve? Perhaps not. Human rights violations, are they taking place? Yes, they are. Are people suffering? Yes, they are. Has the economy of Jammu and Kashmir been affected adversely since the 5th of August 2019? Yes, it has. Where do we go from here? India has often been saying that this is an internal matter. Is it? No, it isn't. If it was an internal matter, then why were we talking about it when we had the composite dialogue and the comprehensive dialogue? Why was it on the agenda? It was on the agenda. Is it on the agenda of the Security Council? Yes, it is. Has the Security Council since the 5th of August deliberated upon it? Yes, it has. Is the world concerned when they see escalation of tensions on both sides of the line of control? The world is concerned. Yes, it is. Do you read about ceasefire violations on a daily basis? Yes, you do. The President just offered and invited you to come and visit Azad Jammu and Kashmir. Please go there. Meet people. Talk to them. And assess for yourself. What do the people want? Allow the Indians to let the diplomatic corps go to Jammu and Kashmir and meet people freely. And then make an independent assessment. India very successfully, in my view, after 9/11, when they saw the global environment change, they linked the struggle for self-determination to terrorism. Very smartly done. They linked it to terrorism. What I want the world to assess independently, that is the issue being orchestrated from this side of the line of control, or is it a genuine indigenous issue? We have to have clarity. Unless we get clarity, we will not reflect over the solution. Do we want to live in peace with India? Yes, we do. Do we want to have good neighborly relations with India? Yes, we do. Has South Asia suffered because of this dispute? Yes, it has. Have we invested enough in our social sectors, in health, education, drinking water, sanitation? No, we have not. Why? The question is why? We have limited resources, and they should be optimally used. How do we use them when there's tension brewing on both sides, on the eastern side, on the western side? Are we helping facilitate peace on the western side? Yes, we are. Is the world recognizing it today? Yes, it is. Pakistan has changed, and Pakistan is changing. And we're a relatively new party with a new mindset, with a new approach. In the past, we've been talking about the geostrategic location of Pakistan. Today, we want to talk about the geo-economic importance of Pakistan. Because of this dispute, is SAARC functional? It isn't. Are we trading within the region as we should? And we have seen regional trade grow everywhere. European Union is in front of you, and there are many other, ASEAN is a very good example. Can we trade? Yes, we can. But we are not. What's the bottleneck? We have to understand. And we need the support of the international community to understand. What the present regime in India has done is unsustainable. Where are the investments that were promised? Have they come in? Where is the flourishing tourism? It's destroyed. Look at the economic impact that the measures of the 5th of August have had on Indian Jammu and Kashmir. Devastating. The question is, what are we doing about it? You have diplomatic relations with India. We recognize that and we respect that. As sovereign countries, you're entitled to have good bilateral relations with them. And we don't grudge that. Honestly, we don't grudge that. We want to move on. How do we move on is the question. I would want, my Prime Minister wants, Imran Khan wants, my government wants peace, stability, development, education, health. You know, the world has suffered from COVID-19. And believe you me, we were scared when the first wave hit us. How will we cope with this challenge with the fragile healthcare system we have in place? We are fortunate, things didn't spin out of control. We've dealt with it reasonably well, but the challenge is there. Could we have cooperated within the region to overcome the challenge of COVID-19? Yes, we could have. We didn't. We did. Can we wish the challenge away? We cannot. We will have to face it. Collectively, regionally, we could have done a better job. We've managed better, in my opinion, better than India. If you look at the economic contraction that we've had and the economic contraction that they've had, 10.3% decline in their growth compared to what we have sort of contracted by. So the time has come to reflect. How do we move on? What's going on is unsustainable. Jammu and Kashmir is under military siege since the last 18 months. Can it go on like this forever? Can you have a communication blockade forever? Can you overlook the two reports of the Human Rights Commissioner? You can choose not to talk about it. You can choose to look the other way. But that does not change reality. And that's where we seek your attention.
First and foremost, I highly appreciate the photographic exhibition organized by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, which among other facets of life also highlights the cultural, scenic beauty of Indian IIOJ&K. Kashmir, no doubt, is a heaven on earth which fortunately has been turned into hell by the cruel and inhuman treatment meted out to the Kashmiri people by the Indian security forces backed by the Indian government. During events organized over the past few days, the international community has witnessed the magnificent show of solidarity with Kashmiris by the Pakistanis at home and abroad. But let me say that expression of solidarity with the Kashmiri people is not a one-time event or activity. It has never been so. Government and people of Pakistan have extended support to the Kashmiri brethren throughout the last 7 decades and would continue to do so until the Kashmiris succeed in their struggle for their inalienable right to self-determination. Pakistan, under the bold leadership of Prime Minister Imran Khan, has rejected India's illegal actions of 5th August 2019 and internationally highlighted the humanitarian, legal, and peace and security dimensions of the issue. Prime Minister Imran Khan has reached out to the world leaders, international institutions, the UN, the OIC. He has forcefully raised the Jammu and Kashmir dispute on all multilateral and international fora. Our efforts to project the Kashmir cause have not gone unnoticed. United Nations Security Council has discussed the Jammu and Kashmir dispute 3 times since 5th August 2019. UN Secretary General has affirmed multiple times that the position of the United Nations of Jammu and Kashmir is governed by the Charter of United Nations and applicable Security Council resolutions. World leaders, international human rights organizations, as well as the media have been at one in condemnation of the lockdown by Indian occupation forces in illegally occupied Jammu Kashmir. The struggle and expression of solidarity will go on until the purpose is served, providing Kashmiris their right to self-determination in line with United Nations Security Council resolutions. Pakistan has repeatedly expressed its desire for peace. Unfortunately, India has vitiated the atmosphere which its illegal and unilateral measures of 5th August 2019 in Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir. Such a situation cannot be allowed to linger on anymore. It is time that the international community takes cognizance of the ill will of India and its evil designs to usurp the rights of Kashmiris in Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir. We stand by our Kashmiri brethren in their just struggle for the right to self-determination, and each passing day, our support for the innocent Kashmiris will be further strengthened.
First, let me pay a tribute to the Foreign Minister and Foreign Ministry for diversifying their diplomacy. In the recent past, they have taken many initiatives to digitalize our diplomacy, and that effort is succeeding. But it's not just one field. They are, in fact, diversifying Foreign Ministry's outreach in various fields, and thank you so much for doing that. Thank you also for focusing on Kashmir day in and day out, whether it is your spokesman's statements, whether it is your own pronouncements, very authoritative pronouncements, or whether it is the entire machine which is working for the realization of the right to self-determination of the people of Jammu and Kashmir. And we are grateful to you. The people of Jammu and Kashmir are grateful to you for that. Let me also tell you that this exhibition that you have organized is both timely and very important, because a cultural invasion has started in the Indian-occupied Jammu and Kashmir. And the world is watching, but it is watching. UNESCO is silent, and so are other international organizations. They haven't paid attention to this parallel invasion that started on August the 5th, 2019. I can tell you that there's a planning in Delhi for constructing some 100,000 temples in the occupied territory. There are threats to mosques and shrines in the occupied territory, and all vestiges of Muslim culture and heritage are being wiped out, or there are plans to wipe them off the landscape of the Indian-occupied Jammu and Kashmir. So this is one thing that is happening. Other symbols have been taken away, or other cultural traits of the Kashmiris. For instance, their language, dress is also being challenged. It is being ridiculed, it is being cartooned. I'm proud that today many foreign ministry officials have donned the cultural apparel of Kashmiris. Thank you so much for doing that. Let me also tell you that, Islam came to the state of Jammu and Kashmir not by conquests, but through the teachings of mystics and saints. And that's why it was accepted by the entire population. The conversions that took place were very smooth, were very voluntarily. So there were no enforced conversions or proselytizations. Now, let me tell you that one of the figures that we always commemorate and remember is Shah Hamdan, who traveled all the way from Central Asia, and centuries ago he brought with him arts, crafts and industry. And that's why you see these distinct characteristics, like you have carpet weaving and shawl weaving, you see this wood carving, and most of them have come from Central Asia, which creates and reinforces this affinity between the state of Jammu and Kashmir and Central Asia and also Pakistan.